Hey guys, welcome back to Book Talk with Meg. Hope you guys are doing well. Today I'm here with my February wrap-up. February was a month inspired by a lot of contemporary reads because Valentine's Day, and it's just, as a reader, my preferred genre. So it was a very good reading month. I did manage to read 7 books and I am almost halfway in my 8th book for the month. I am pre-filming this, so I may finish this before the end of the month, which is why I'm mentioning it to you guys. As far as for star rating goes, I had 1 book with a 3-star, 1 4-star book, and the rest were actually all 5-star reads, which is a very rare thing for me. This was a solid 5-star month. I did read 4 actual novels and 3 graphic novels, and most of the authors this month were female authors, which I'm always for. I love encouraging female empowerment and female authors in general. So for this wrap up, I'm going to go from my least preferred book of the month all the way to my favorite book of the month. So without further ado, let's hop on in, and also I hope you guys had a wonderful reading month. The first read I have to talk about is Giant Days Volume 1 by a variety of different authors. I will leave the links to all the books down in the down bar if you're interested in any of them. This follows 3 main characters, Susan, Esther, and Daisy. Yes. And they are basically starting their university life, and it kind of follows that story. This is my only 3-star read of the month. I will not be continuing on with this series. I did really love the art style. I have nothing against it. I love the colors. I loved how each character was portrayed. I also like the personality of our characters, but the main issue I have with this graphic novel is that there's actually no plot line. This is a story that kind of goes all over the place. There's no specific plot, and although I can enjoy it in a novel form, I was just really struggling with the graphic novel aspect. I think we don't learn a lot, there's not a lot going on, and it's very confusing. There's no specific timeline, and I just felt kind of bored reading this, which is very rare for me in a graphic novel because it is multimedia. It should actually grab my attention more than just words, but it kind of fell flat for me. The next book I want to talk about is Feign, Fate, and the First Kiss by Casey West. This was her February 2019 release. She has another one planned for July, I believe, and I'm very excited for that one. Casey West is an auto-buy author for me. Her novel, Listen to Your Heart, has become one of my all-time favorite things in the world. It's always in the back of my bookshelf. I love it that much, and the cover is absolutely stunning. So I was kind of wary going into this because I'm always afraid that they won't live up to the hype I make for myself, and this one was kind of like a hit and a miss at the same time. I did really enjoy the main male character, Donovan. I think that's how you say it, yeah. Donovan Lake. He is Lacey's tutor, but I did not enjoy the character of Lacey, and I could not care less for the movie set because the premise of this book follows our main character, Lacey, who was a secondary character in Love, Life, and the List, which I love that book. And we follow Lacey as she gets her first break in the filming industry as an actress, and she has to balance her high school life as well as her filming life. And then this boy Donovan is her tutor when she's on set because she's not doing so well with her homework, and it's about her balancing her time between trying to befriend the other actors and actresses and her time with Donovan and kind of finding herself. I did really enjoy all of that. I enjoyed the chemistry between Lacey and Donovan, but I just had issues with Lacey's character on her own. I think she was very much flat, and she had a little too much sass. She wasn't very appreciative of a lot of the things that were given to her, and I think she just kind of had it too easy in this book, which it wasn't for me, and I just didn't like the movie aspect of this book because this movie follows like a zombie production, and I'm just not a fan of zombies in general. So that's mostly where I lost interest, but Donovan was amazing. Such a great male role model for boys. He's very smart. He has a lot of beautiful interests. He's into writing. He wants to be he wants to go into journalism. He's a very good person. We also get to see Lacey's father in here, which often is not explored in YA, so I did like the family element. And that's about all I'm going to say. I might be filming a full-on review for you guys for this book. Moving on to my 5-star reads, the first one I have to talk about is Fence Volume 1, again by a plethora of authors. This was very inspired by Books with Chloe. I did not really know about Fence until she mentioned it. This is about a boy who has learned to fence since he was a child, and he's going to compete in this tournament, and then he gets a scholarship to a school for fencing, but he has to make the fencing team. There's also a slow burn boy-boy romance in this, which I really enjoyed. I just love the art style. The characters were very lovable. I enjoyed myself so much, and I will definitely be picking up the second volume. I then have Heartstoppers Volume 1 by Alice Oseman, again kind of inspired by Books with Chloe, but this has been on my radar for a very long time. You can get this free on the internet, but I wanted the actual bind-up. It's very beautiful. The only thing I did not know is that the art is actually just black and white, but this follows two boys. Why am I blanking on their names? Charlie mostly, and at first his relationship with Ben, and then he gets introduced to this new boy, and they form a friendship that is kind of blooming into a romance. It explores LGBTQ elements, it explores finding yourself. They are so sweet and so lovable. I loved everything. Like, I flew through this graphic novel, and it's probably my favorite graphic novel I own to date, and I cannot wait for the second volume to actually be published. As far as rating goes, the next two are very equal. I just don't know what order to put them in. The first one being This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills. I absolutely adore Emma Mills ever since I read Famous in a Small Town. I'm now collecting all her books, and this is the second one I read. This follows our main character, Swoon, and I believe Swoon moved, I don't know, from New York to Florida, and she's kind of like getting used to her school and all that jazz, and she doesn't have a lot of friends until she meets Vera and Gabe with this very funny encounter where Gabe is kind of having trouble, and then Swoon kind of slips in to try to help him. He doesn't take it the very good way, and then she meets Vera, who is the other twin, and their friendship blooms from there. There's also the adventure of trying to find a painting that was once the twins' mother's, because she was a painter and she sadly passed away. Everything about this book was very magical. I loved the forming of the friendship, the fact that it wasn't so romance heavy without it being no romance at all. There was a good balance. We saw a lot of Vera's family, Vera's mother, her sister. Her relationship with her dad was very interesting. I love the quest element in this book, and everything about it was just so fun and refreshing and different, and the characters were so well developed. I adore every single one of them. We then have P.S. I Like You by Casey West, which is one of her, not older novels, but it's not like one of her most recent, and a lot of people have been talking about this one. I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet, but I did. And this follows our main character, Lily, and basically one day Lily sits in chemistry class, and like she always does, she writes lyrics and stuff in her notebook without paying attention to class. Her teacher takes her notebook away, and she starts doodling lyrics to a very unknown song on the desk, and the next day someone has continued the lyrics, and it kind of forms a pen-pal relationship, and it's just so beautiful. I loved Lily, I loved all the main characters, I loved the friendships in here, I loved the mystery element, although it wasn't like the biggest mystery in the world, everyone can figure it out. I just loved Lily. She is hilarious, she is a very good person, she takes care of her family, she is a very cute person. I just love the main characters in this so much. Highly enjoyed it. If you guys haven't not read this yet, or Casey West books in general, I suggest this one as almost as much as Listen to Your Heart. This is definitely my second favorite of hers. And now for my all-time favorite book of February, I have to talk about The Geography of Lost Things by Jessica Brody. I was kind of worried to go into this book, one because it's a very big book for a YA contemporary, and also because the premise sounded so fun. I was very afraid to be let down. This follows our main character as she kind of struggles with family issues. Her home is being taken away from her because her mom has so many debt because of her father, who kind of like was a very absent father figure. He kind of came and left, and one day her father passes away and he gives her this car that was like the only thing he actually cared about, and she basically just wants the money, and so she needs to drive this car up to a person who wants to purchase the car, but she can't do so alone because she doesn't drive stick shift. So her boyfriend, actually ex-boyfriend, my bad, Nico, drives up with her, and it's the exploration of what happened to split them up, and also the redeeming qualities someone can have and how it's not always what you expect it to be. There's also discussion on family and addiction and how that changes families, and there's also discussion of second chances, second opinions, and I also really love that this book has a kind of cute element to it in the sense that they try, you know, the thing everybody talks about, like if you get a pen and you can turn it into like $1 million, that concept is kind of explored when they exchange a rubber band for an old phone and whatever, they want trades to make more money to try to not sell the car. And I love that element in the plot, and hearing the backstories of items and people and seeing how everybody's so different. I love the road trip element. This book is absolutely fantastic. If you have not picked it up, pick it up. The writing is great. The characters are amazing. Nico is probably one of my favorite fictional boys ever because he's very sweet. He does have his problems, but he's very caring for others, and I just love him to pieces. Lastly, the book I am currently reading is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. This is about a girl whose mother commits suicide and passes away, and she believes her mother has become a bird, and it all goes from there. That's basically where I'm at. I'm not loving this, but I am liking it. So that's it for my wrap up, and let me know below what you guys read in the month of February, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye guys!